Hi guys, Squirrel here and welcome to another episode of the Trucking School. In this episode we're going to look at jobs, how to choose a job, how to make the most out of your job selection, what to look for, how to find things. In the job market you should see, well, 2 or 3 options. This option may be greyed out and the third option you'll only see if you connect your account to the World of Trucks website. I won't cover that in this video, but let's just focus on the freight market and the quick job market. The main difference between these two is that the quick job market is something that you always see. If you take a job from the quick job market, you jump into a truck which you do not own. You then make the delivery and then you leave the job and leave the truck. That's it. The freight market only appears at the point where you have actually bought your own truck. Now you can see my truck behind me here. Because I've got a truck of my own, I can use jobs in the freight market. What this means is, any job that I take from the freight market, I will have to drive my truck to it, take the trailer and then deliver it. So bear that in mind, because where your truck currently is located will be a big factor in the jobs you take. Other thing to mention before we go into the job market is your driver profile skills. If you click on the skills top right here, a lot will depend in the job market on what you've actually unlocked skill wise. For example, hazardous cargo. Until you've unlocked the different categories of hazardous cargo, none of these jobs will appear in the job market. It doesn't show you a job that you cannot take. So once you've unlocked some of these, for example, flammable liquids, flammable gases, that kind of thing, if you unlock flammable liquids, you'll then be able to take petrol, diesel and kerosene jobs. You won't see those jobs until you've unlocked flammable. So bear that in mind. Long distance will affect how long the jobs are. So when you've maxed out your long distance, you've got it up to rank 6, you'll be able to take a delivery anywhere in the American trucking world. Now admittedly, the American trucking world is not 2,500 miles big. It's not even 1,600 miles big. So you don't necessarily need to rank everything up in here initially. But as the world gets bigger, you may consider upgrading this in order to be able to drive the longest distances. High value cargo, this is an important one. It's important to get at least 1 rank in high value cargo. What that will do is will unlock trailers that have a high value cargo and the customer will pay more for this. Same thing with fragile cargo and just-in-time delivery. If you put 1 point in each of these when you can, every time you level up you get 1 point to spend. And if you put it in high value, fragile and just-in-time delivery, that will unlock an extra 3 categories of trailers which will all pay you more money and more XP. Well worth doing. Final thing is the fuel economy. Points in this will save you on fuel as you drive your truck. Meanwhile, back in the job market, let's have a look at the quick jobs. Now the job markets in principle are all the same, except in the quick job market you will see jobs that are different trucks. Remember, in the quick job market you don't use your own truck, so everything you see here will be a customer's truck. If this is all you have available to you, then you will need to pick a job from the quick job market until you can buy your own truck. But other than that, the principles are exactly the same. I'm going to show you the actual freight market because I have my own truck, but it really doesn't matter. All the same things apply. You will notice here that it now shows you the trailer rather than the truck because the assumption is you're using your own truck. You can see on the mini-map where your truck is currently located. It's the blue arrow. So if I was, for example, take a job out of Winnemucca, then I need to bear in mind that I'm going to have to drive all the way over there to get that trailer. That's a bad idea because it's going to spend time and money getting there. So you need to be looking for jobs that are nearby. You may be wondering why some of these dots I can select and some of them I can't. The reason for that is because these dots I've actually been to and these cities here I've not. I cannot choose a city I've not been to see what jobs are in it. Only when you've visited a city do the jobs actually unlock so that you can see them. For example, if I click on Fresno, then I will see on the right here, all of the jobs coming out of Fresno. You see the source there and the destination, Fresno to Elko, Fresno to Prim, all that kind of thing. If I was to choose Bakersfield, I will get jobs coming out of Bakersfield. If I try and choose Prim itself, you'll see it doesn't happen. It just shows me every job in the job market. So that's an important thing because the more cities you visit, the more choice you'll be able to make out of the job market. If I was sat here in Fresno right now, what I would want to do is pick a job out of Fresno. So I click Fresno, it will show me all the jobs in Fresno. You can see down the bottom here, I've got 5 pages. You can scroll the mouse wheel or you can click right and left to go through the list. Now, the important thing is the sort order at the top here. We need to sort. We can sort by anything. We can sort by price, price per distance, the expiration, the origin, the destination, the route length, the cargo weight, the sender, and the recipient. Which is the best one to go for? Well, certainly when you're starting out, I would go for price per distance. Price per distance means the deliveries at the top are paying the most money for the distance that you're traveling. Now, bear in mind that the actual total distance of this job is dictated by your driver skill level. When you start out, you can't take journeys very far at all, but you're still going to see the maximum price per distance. So every mile you drive, this job is going to pay more than this one. It's as simple as that. Because I've got everything unlocked, you can see I'm getting quite large jobs here. If I click on this one, it's 359 miles. If I click on this one, it's 577 miles. You can see the difference in the price, 12,000 as opposed to 19,000. But then this job is almost half the distance of this one. And yet it's still paying more than half. That's why that's got a better price per distance. Why is that? Why does that pay more money? Well, a number of factors really. It depends on the type of goods that you're taking. You can see what it is. It's petrol. This is a digger. This is a hazardous class 3 substance. This requires you to have the hazardous class 3 license in your driver profile, or you won't see this. But having said that, because I've got it, I'm getting bonus money and bonus XP for taking that delivery. This one, on the other hand, is a high value cargo. This thing is worth a lot of money, so it's classed as a high value cargo. Therefore, it's paying pretty well, and so on. On the left, over here, you can actually filter by the kind of delivery that you want. For example, if you drop this list down and scroll down to fragile, it will now show you all the fragile trailers, and if you click on Fresno, it will show you all the fragile jobs you can take out of Fresno. This is now only showing fragile jobs sorted by price per distance. You can see the top paying one is this. They're paying you $2,300 to drive 50 miles. 50 miles. It's from there to there. It's nothing for $2,300. The reason is it's fragile and it's an urgent delivery. So bear that in mind. If you are late though on an urgent delivery, you will be penalised heavily. So bear that in mind. Make sure you can get to it, pick it up and get it there on time. Always look at how long it takes to get you there. 1 hour and 18 is all you have. There's not much room for error in that margin. When you finish filtering, you want to drop it back and choose all, but use the filtering to go for the kind of job that you're after. Pay attention to these icons here. Once you start to unlock the skills, you're going to be wanting to looking at these kinds of cargoes, the fragile, the important deliveries, and the high value cargo. Use the sorting. If you want something that's a particularly long way away, then sort it by distance. This job here is longer than that job, longer than that job, longer than that job, and so on. If you don't want to filter by the country, by a particular city, just click anywhere away and it will bring all the jobs back in the market. That's it. The final thing when you are choosing a job is always pay attention to how long it is before the offer expires. If the offer expires in less than an hour, I strongly suggest you don't even consider trying to get to it, even if you're just around the corner. An hour is not a very long time in the game. As long as you've got enough time to get to it, then click on it, choose set destination, and it will program your sat-nav to take your truck over to that particular pickup point. If you're in the quick job market, of course, it will just teleport you straight into the truck and off you go. Having chosen your job, you get into your truck and you can see the sat-nav is already programmed in. Press M to bring up the map and zoom in on your current location. As you can see, this happens to be quite literally just around the corner there. But it could be anywhere across town, depending on where you are and where your chosen job is. Things like quarry jobs in particular, they are way out of town. They're nowhere near the city centre, so bear that in mind. You may have a little bit of a journey before you can go and pick up your job. All you need to do is drive over to the pickup point and collect your trailer. Once you reach your pickup point, pay attention to the minimap, because sometimes like this is quite a big pickup point. You'll have to drive around the corner to find out where it is. You'll need to find this icon here. Normally this would be on the entrance on the way in, but you can see the sat-nav took me to a slightly different entrance. Sat-nav is not perfect. Click on enter and it will then just confirm, double check that this is what you're expecting. Click on take job. And then simply go and find your trailer. Now for me, I've got to reverse because it's put me in the wrong place. So I'll just turn my truck around. Now pay attention to the minimap. You'll see that your trailer is located. It's flashing with a green arrow. This is the important thing. You now have to reorient your truck in order to reverse into it. This is a little bit tricky at first if you've never done it. One thing I do recommend is go to external camera. Now, without the trailer attached, this just behaves like a normal vehicle. It's not an articulated vehicle at this point. So if you turn right and drive forward, it will turn right. It's that simple. So just turn the truck around. Stick it in reverse. If you're feeling confident, do this in first person and use your mirrors. But when you're just starting out, you probably want to do it this way. And simply reverse the truck into the trailer. Do it slowly until you get the sign that says press T to attach trailer to truck. Like that. Having done that, you press the T key. The trailer is now attached to the truck and you are ready to go. The map will now have updated. It will show the source and destination. So if you scroll out to the map now, you can see it's taking me down Interstate 99, into Bakersfield, into where it's needed. That's it. Get in your truck and drive it there. Just follow the sat-nav, obey the rules of the road, and get your delivery there on time. Okay, so we've arrived at our destination. Just waiting to get into the entrance here. You can see it on the minimap. It's on the left. Now, eventually, the AI will give way to you, as long as you're indicating. Eventually. Now, if you remember in one of the previous videos, I told you about parking, whether you want to select simple or more advanced parking. I have it selected for always the more difficult parking. In a later video in the trucking school, I'm going to show you how to reverse a trailer properly and correctly. If you've got it on simple parking, this is where you could just press the enter key and just deliver it simplistically, or you can go for something a bit more challenging. It's entirely up to you. I'm going to show you in this, right at the end here, just how to reverse a trailer in for a more difficult parking position. And there you go. That takes a bit of practice, but don't worry, in my trucking school episode, I will show you how to park trailers properly. I hope you found this video useful. Watch out for the next one in trucking school. Take care and happy trucking.